right, thank you guys. The Samsung Lions take on the Doosan Bears, 5:30 a.m. Eastern first pitch. Now the Bears are minus 225, Lions are plus 165. Totals 10.5 juice to the under. And if you like Doosan on the run line, they're catching even money, laying the run and a half. And following Sunday's sports wagering action, I improved to 13-1 in my last 14 extra daily pick tier package plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And that's a website where I sell really great sports pick subscriptions, beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. Now, the extra daily pick is one of those packages that I sell, as I'm also 19-5 in my last 24 picks in that category as well. And that's good for 79% over the course of the past 3 weeks in that package. I also have a bunch of different great memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. A lot of great stuff going on, a lot of variety there. And if you just want to check out the website, maybe browse a little bit, check out my current record. Link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, the Bears are coming off a 3-2 loss to the Hanwha Eagles. And keep in mind, this is a Hanwha team who was in the middle of an 18-game losing streak coming into that series. They actually dropped 2 games to the Eagles in that series, ultimately losing the series 2-1. The Bears have also dropped 4 out of their last 6, including a 12-8 loss to the NC Dinos. Now, the Bears have lost their last 2 straight series and dropped to 3rd place in the league. They're taking on a Samsung team who's coming off a very impressive 12-0 double-digit shutout victory over the KT Wiz. They've also won 3 out of their last 4, including a 6-3 win over the Kiwoom Heroes. Now, Samsung's 5-2 record in their last 7 is good for 71% during that short span. The Lions are just 3 games behind the Kiwoom Heroes for 4th place in the KBO. Now, total-wise, 3 out of the Lions' last 5 stayed under the total of 10.5 runs. 7 out of their last 9 also stayed under that number. Meanwhile, on the other side, the Bears saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under the 10.5 themselves. Give me the Samsung Lions plus 1.5 and the under 10.5 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for, what day do they all run together? Tuesdays. KBO baseball action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just have to quickly remind you once again that after Sunday's sports wagering action, I improved to 13-1 in my last 14 extra daily pick premium plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And of course, that's a website where I sell really great sports pick subscriptions beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. That's incredibly inexpensive. There's also a bunch of different great memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. Now, one of those packages is called the Extra Daily Pick Tier Membership. It's only $2.99 through the end of the month, and that's $2.99 through the end of the month. It's way too cheap. And in addition to going 13-1 in my last 14, I'm also hitting at 19-5 in my last 24 picks in that category, and that's good for 79% over the past 3 weeks in that membership. I really should raise these prices. But anyway, I strongly recommend you at least consider using the website for sports picks. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And let's go ahead and move on. Our next matchup, it is going to be the LG Twins taking on the Hanwha Eagles, 5:30 a.m. Eastern start time. The Twins are minus 250. Eagles are plus 180. Totals 10.5 juice to the under. And if you like the Twins on the run line, they're minus 133, laying the 1.5. Now, the Twins are coming off a 10-6 victory over the Lotte Giants in their last outing. They also won 3 out of their last 4, including a 4-3 victory over the SK Wyverns. The Twins have been victorious in 5 out of their last 7 as well. Good for a win percentage of .714. The Twins are giving up just 3.5 runs per contest in their last 7 as well, and find themselves in second place in the 10-team KBO with a win percentage of .629. Now the Eagles on the other side, well, they've lost 18 out of their last 20 games, and they find themselves in last place in the league. They're just 9-27 on the season, good for a win percentage of just 250. And offensively, yeah, they've been offensive. Offensively, the Eagles are averaging just 2.6 runs per contest in their last 8. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Hanwha's last 4 stayed under the total of 10.5 runs. Meanwhile, 7 out of the Twins' last 9 stayed under that number themselves. So give me the LG Twins minus 1.5 and the under 10.5 in that game. Next contest, NC Dinos versus the Kia Tigers, 5:30 a.m. Eastern start time. The Dinos are minus 167, Kia's plus $1.25. The total's 8.5 juice to the over. And if you like the Dinos to cover, they're plus $1.10 laying the run and a half. Now the Dinos beat the Heroes 9-5 in their last game. They've also won 8 out of their last 11 and find themselves in first place in the KBO with a win percentage of .743. The Tigers on the other side lost 4-3 to the Wyverns in their last game themselves. They also lost 2 out of their last 4, including a 13-8 loss to the struggling KT Wiz. The Tigers are currently in 5th place in the league, but find themselves just 2 games ahead of 7th place. So there certainly is no margin. There's zero margin for error over the next handful of games here. Now, total-wise, 3 out of the Tigers' last 5 got over the total of 8.5 runs. Meanwhile, the Dinos on the other side, they saw their last 2 straight get over that number themselves. And check out this. The Dinos saw 18 out of their last 19 games get over that number as well, that 8.5 number. So I'm going to lean toward the NC Dinos winning that one outright and the over 8.5 in that game. Next contest, Lotte Giants taking on the Kiwoom Heroes, 5:30 a.m. East. The Heroes are minus 286, Giants plus 205. Totals 9.5 juice to the over. And if you like the Heroes to cover, they're minus 135, laying the 1.5. Now the Heroes are coming off a 9-5 loss to the NC Dinos in their last outing. They also lost 4 out of their last 7, including a 6-4 loss to the 7th place Samsung Lions. They're taking on a Giants team who's won 7 out of their last 9 themselves, including a 7-6 victory over the 2nd place LG Twins. They also won 2 out of their last 3 series and averaged 7 runs per contest in their last 6 straight. Now, total-wise, the Giants' last 2 games got over the total of 9.5 runs. 4 out of their last 6 also got over that number. Meanwhile, on the Kiwoom side, they saw their last 2 games get over the 9.5 themselves. Give me the Lotte Giants plus 1.5 and the over 9.5 in that game. All right, next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be the KT Wiz taking on the SK Wyverns, 5:30 a.m. Eastern first pitch. The Wyverns are minus 155, Wiz are plus $1.20. The number is 10.5 flat, and the Wyverns are plus $1.30, laying the 1.5. Now, the Wyverns lost 2 out of their last 3, including a 6-3 loss to the Kia Tigers. Their 2-5 record in their last 7 is good for just 29% during that stretch. The Wyverns are just 12-23 thus far in the season and find themselves in second to last place in the 10-team KBO. The Wyverns have also struggled offensively, averaging just 2.42 runs per contest in their last 7. They're taking on a Wiz team who's won 2 out of their last 4 themselves, including a 7-4 victory over the Lions and a 13-8 victory over the Kia Tigers. Now, total-wise, 6 out of the Wiz last 9 stayed under the total of 10.5 runs. Meanwhile, the Wyverns on the other side saw their last 10 straight all stay under that number themselves. Give me the KT Wiz plus $1.20 and the under 10.5 in that game. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs, and we're going to start with our Patreon platform. Shout-out to my good friend Joel. Like I said earlier today, a very passionate sports bettor, great guy, Joel. Also, Bruce Fowl, another great guy, love Bruce. Shout-out to Aaron DeGafa, Matt Smith, Wesley Upshaw, Don Ladisic, DJ Hooks, Darius McNeil, John Robert, and Dwight Boyd. Next, from our Instagram platform, shout out to Ada White, Matt Milliser, Bubba Jonesy, Secundino Centella, Will Slade, Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor, my good friend Krista Procuris, who I said earlier in my first upload, she's an old friend from the college years, and And I have no idea that she paid attention to my content. So shout out to you, Krista, and shout out to Paul Filicetti, who was a buddy of mine from college. So shout out to you, Paul. Peter Jones, Mitch Austin, and finally from our YouTube platform, shout out to John Calderon, Lan Wynn, Diego Roca, Bo Dunn, Sean Atlin, Cedric Zelmat, Serge Brook, Michael Jenkins, Hot Boy Chris, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, David Arango. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with all that said and done, happy Monday or Tuesday to you, depending on when you're watching this. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.